Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Well, today we're talking about a very important topic. I'm joined by Simon and Cindy from Carolina Forest Elementary School. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Great.
Wonderful. Now, you both work in education, but you also are co-authors of a book. Tell me about this book.
Okay, so this book is Adapting Behavior Practices, Reframing Your Approach to Discipline. And we, for the past 5 years, the two of us have been working together with behavior a lot. And so we just realized that getting to the root of the behavior helps tremendously, and it helps the kids not to repeat the same behavior. So we kind of came together and just thought of ways to help the kid to change the behavior.
So
Right.
who is this book for?
This book is for parents and teachers, and really for adults, because everybody gets frustrated when it comes to behavior, and they wonder, what are we going to do? And even for me as a parent, it's helpful because we tend to work with our own kids a little differently than we work with other people's kids. So, the being consistent and putting these things into practices, it's difficult because it's time consuming, but the consistency is what wins in the long run.
So can you give me some examples maybe that are in the book without spoiling too much?
Like Cindy said, a lot of kids, and I'm sure many people out here listening and yourselves can remember, when kids would come get in trouble at school, and they would get in trouble for the same things over and over and over again. So, like the front of the book shows there, some roots in the ground and a child being like a plant. When something goes wrong with your crops, you got to figure out what's wrong in the dirt, not what's on top. So once you get to that root, and it does take time, because as we say in there, it takes them a long time to get that way. It takes a long time to get them out. And gaining that trust with us or whoever they work with is the first step in getting to the root of that problem.
Yeah, and I would say definitely building the relationship. Relationships are everything. When you get the relationships with these kids, we've had a lot of kids that, just came from tough situations. And the two of us, we just team up and kind of become that safe space for them.
Right.
And they know it, and then it just helps.
Well, tell me also, for parents and other teachers who have read the book, what has been the response?
Well, for some who kind of been in education for a long time, it's like a new thing for them. It's almost like they're having to retrain their thinking and their brain. And, and I say all the time, like, this is just a new generation of kids. Like, you can't do the same thing that you did a long time ago to reach this generation, because they have so many other things coming up against them, like social media. And they just carry a lot. And so you just have to approach it a different way.
Yeah.
So.
Because everybody, wants to see old school, though.
Right.
Our grandparents' old school was a lot different than our old school, so there's always a new school coming. So we just need to adapt to that new school a little bit faster.
Right.
If we're going to be successful with our kids, and that's a hard thing for some teachers. If we can help them understand this practice, in the long run, it's going to be a smoother classroom. Their scores will be better because we're really, we like scores, but without those relationships, those scores really don't matter.
Now, Cindy, do you have another book as well?
I do. This is actually my third children's book. I'm always trying to write, because I am a counselor, giving kids tools that they can use when I'm not there, and so this book is Same Love, Different Homes, and it is about kids that are in divorce situations. And so I think out of all the books, like, this was the one that I could connect to the most, because I was that kid. And so when I wrote it, it was really rewarding for me as well. So, yeah.
So if anybody's interested in purchasing one of your books, where can they find these?
They can find them on Amazon. They're both on Amazon.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Easy Pro Express. Well, welcome back to Living Local, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I am in the studio and we're going to talk about bathroom remodeling with Jeff from Easy Pro. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So tell me, when somebody is looking to remodel their bathroom, you got to take a couple steps. What are some of the things that people should be looking for in a contractor?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing that I always say is check their credentials. Are they licensed to do the work? Do they have the right insurance? Do they pull permits to do the work? At Easy Pro Bath Express, we're a licensed general contractor. We have multiple licensed plumbers on staff. And if a permit is required, we do all the paperwork, handle all the legwork with the city, the county, so the homeowner doesn't have to worry about those items.
And I love reading reviews whenever I'm about to buy something. Is that important when it comes to finding a contractor too?
I mean, I think most people say the reviews are tremendously important, right? I mean, it's the customer's own words on how the contractor performed that project. So what better way to get the insight onto how a contractor takes care of their customers than in those reviews? And beyond just reviews, also looking at the Better Business Bureau. With Easy Pro Bath Express, we have over 1,500 five-star reviews, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau, so we take care of our customers. I would encourage anybody to go online and read some of the reviews for ourselves.
I don't feel like a lot of people could say that about their business. To say, hey, go check out the reviews. I feel confident
We
in
stand
that.
behind our work and we take care of our customers, and we're proud of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching right now, can you kind of walk through the process of what it looks like to get a bathroom remodel with
Sure,
you guys?
it's very easy. All you have to do is give us a call, go online, easyprobathexpress.com. We come out to the house, we do a free in-home design consultation. We'll show you product and we'll take measurements and we'll give you a price down to the penny. That'll be good for 1 year. So when when you're ready to move forward with that project, you know what it's going to cost. And for your viewers today, we are offering an additional 20% off projects for those that call right now.
20% off. You gotta love that, folks. So where can people learn more information?
Sure, go to easyprobathexpress.com or give us a call.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Easy Pro Express. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today again on Living Local Carolina. Today, I am joined by truly the expert when it comes to washing, waxing, the long list of things you have to do to take care of your car and make it look beautiful. Everett, thanks for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you are from Looking Good Auto Detailing. You are the owner of this company.
I am.
Give me a little backstory on how you got to be the owner.
So when I came to Coastal, I'm a Coastal alum, by the way. When I came to Coastal in 2012, there wasn't a detailing facility. Like there were a bunch of car washes, but there wasn't a detailing facility. So I struggled to find a detailing facility. So fast forward to 2016, I moved to a house and I just started tinkering with detailing at the house. And then I got good at it. Well, I've always been good at it, but, from a
you
business
caught the
standpoint.
bug though.
Yeah, you know
You
what
were
I'm saying?
like, this is something that I really, really like.
So the hobby then, it was a hobby, then it turned into a passion. And then I had a kid on the way. And then so I'm like, all right, I gotta do something. So my last semester at Coastal was when I actually started my business. And then it took off from there.
It really has taken off since then because now you're making social media content, you're able to share kind of a little behind the scenes on what you do because I think a lot of people drop their car off
And they go.
and they go.
They pick it up, they're happy.
It looks great, but you get to show like a piece of what you're actually doing.
Right, the process.
What's that like?
Hectic.
Yeah.
Trying to work and record, and it's been a long journey when it comes to making content.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I didn't start out making content because I was more so focused on these clients' cars. I didn't want to take up the time and more time, more money, and it's like it took 4 hours on my car, but 2 hours of it was shooting content.
Yeah.
So
You're weighing the options
right,
here,
you know. But it's also important to kind of show people like to know what's going on behind the scenes. So when I figured out it was important to show people that, I'm just like, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah. So what does a typical day look like for you?
It depends. So I have a team at my shop in Conway, and then we also do mobile as well. So it really just depends on what's on the schedule.
All right. Well, if somebody is interested in learning a little bit more or taking their car to see if you can detail it, where can they find you?
LookingGoodAuto.com. Instagram, Looking Good Auto Detailing, and Facebook as well, Looking Good Auto Detailing.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined by Joshua. You are a self-proclaimed indie manga creator.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, we got to get down to the bottom of this. Tell everybody what you do and how you got into this in the first place.
So me being an indie manga creator, I've always liked anime, superhero stuff growing up. That was my main inspiration. But then I always had these ideas, like as I was going through things growing up, that I would watch movies and I was like, I could make that better. So in my head, I would like make these movies with my own characters and I'll be sitting in class just daydreaming about these movies that I'm making in my own head. Eventually I started making an idea for some concepts for a manga, and I really didn't act on it until the passing of my mother before college, because my mom passed away then, probably 2 weeks after when my older brothers passed away. That was kind of what, I know that, I know how that's, but sometimes, you know, there's a blessing in the lesson, and in that lesson, it propelled me into acting on the things that my mom believed in me in doing. So I started with the manga. I really didn't get into after the college, where I felt like I could draw, but I wanted to draw everything myself. But I then took a course where someone was like, hey, if you can, get out of the way so somebody else can do it, because I'm looking at another 2 years if I try to learn how to do the manga style. So with that, I started on doing it. Started going to conventions, and I would first kind of pick people's brains. One of my early mentors, he was surprised because I just asked him, hey, can I get your number? Can I, reach out to you if I need anything? And I was asking him 6 months later, I'm messaging him, I'm like, hey, guess who's gonna be at the same convention that you were at? And he was surprised. From there, I was just hitting it boots to the ground. And I've done PowerCon, which is a local one for Florence. I've done, I did the Grand Strand one that's down here, the Grand Strand Comic-Con. And then I recently did LA Comic-Con. So
that's big.
That was a condensing of the timeline of how we got here. But my main project, there was one time I had a dream, and it was about Camgechi. And I then started to connect the dots after I had that dream. I took a Gullah Geechee business course, and they were trying to tie in what I do into the course. They were like, why don't you do a Gullah Geechee story? And I was like, why don't I do a Gullah Geechee story? That's a good point. And I started connecting it, and then that's when all of this came about. And from here, I mean, this is starting to be one of the stories that, despite my main project is doing good, but as people start to hear about Camgechi, they're like, we want this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
So you're building this world that is completely tied to your own culture.
Yes.
What has the response been so far when you tell people about this?
There's more of a surprise, actually, because no one's doing it.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of these conventions and I ask people, about Gullah Geechee culture, and I even talk about how a lot of African Americans don't realize here in America, 80% of us have some type of Gullah Geechee lineage, but yet they don't know that they have this lineage. So when I bring up the concept of Camgechi, I have been quizzed a little bit, but I'm doing my best as I'm learning about my own history, that I'm, putting it into the story. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is taking something that I find out about Gullah Geechee culture and find a way to twist it and put it into the story.
It's very unique.
Very unique.
It's very cool what you do. I'm very excited to see where this goes. How can people stay updated with everything that you're doing so they can get that drop the second that it's ready?
Good question. So I have my Instagram that is @_no retreat, no surrender. That's the name of my main project, is No Retreat, No Surrender. My email is missyoujoshua@gmail.com.
Remind me of the Instagram name again.
@_no retreat, no surrender.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.